is what we are about tonight. Here, most of us are against the wall until we find resolve. Okay? Most of us are in institutions, me too, we're in institutions that actually create the war. That is, your exam deadline, your assessment deadline, the quiz deadline. That's the war, all right? And it forces you, oh, I've got a deadline tomorrow, so I'll study today. You're not studying today because you really, really love what you want to study. Put your hand up if you really love what you're studying. Some of you, right? Not many. I didn't see many hands, all right? I didn't see many hands, all right? But that's this part here, all right? If you can find that why in you, where you're excited about something, and my story tonight is that for some of you it might take you 5 or 10 years, for some of you it may take 5 or 10 months. And what I'm saying to you tonight is just keep looking for that, because it's better to go through life here rather than back against the wall all the time. All right? It's better to move into this mode here than have your back against the wall all the time. All right? And here's another way of finding that is, here's another way. How many of you have gone to an event, you met someone and think, wow, I wish I could be like that person, and you go home and you're thinking, oh, and you just feel that pent-up emotion that, oh, wow, I need to work harder. I need to do more after meeting some successful person. Probably not meeting me, but I mean someone else, right? How many of you have experienced that? All right. Don't stop those opportunities. Networking should be about trying to meet those people. And that's what part G is about. G, that is, challenge your mental model of success. Find your influential peers. When you go to a networking event, find people that have been successful and find what are they doing, what's driving them, how they prepare their mind. Look, you look at, oh, so Richard Branson, how do you prepare your mind? Obviously you're not going to say that, all right? But at least you can say, you know, what's your #1 challenge, or what's your biggest lesson? Okay? So socially acceptable questioning is fine. That's what you should do in networking. Because what happens is when they tell you, then you think, you go home with that mindset of thinking, wow, that person is there, I'm here, there's a gap there. That's better than having your back against the wall. That gap. There's only 3 things that are going to drive you. Number 1, you're back against the wall. You just got to pass or you fail. Okay? That's what you've been used to for most of your life. Now, the other thing is, you've already found your dream and nothing's going to stop you. Right? The other thing is, go and find people that are really up there, and then you just mentally see that gap. And that gap really just forces you inside the, oh, I've just got to do 1 more hour. I need to put in time on the weekend to catch up. Do you know what I mean? That's not against the wall. That's, you're creating a benchmark by influential peers. So networking can be very powerful. Right at the start I said, go and do your networking. Why? Because you ask people your #1 challenge, right? Because one day you're going to be of value to them because you find someone else that can meet their challenge. Now I'm saying also networking can be good because it creates that external benchmark, and then say, wow, that person's there. I want to be close to that. I'm still down here. I need to work harder. And that's better than you're back against the wall. So 3 things, all right? And just about all of our days are filled with being motivated by one of those 3 things. Probably the most enjoyable one is actually when you're already in your dream mode, okay? You're already doing what you love. If you're not doing that, then it's one or the other, okay? Back against the wall, or you've got that external benchmark, you want to try and emulate someone, all right? So that's what I want to take away. And H, take massive action. What do we mean by massive action? Do 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 10 times what is normal for other people. Okay? But in order to do that, to be so crazy to do that, that's why it's so important to try and really know what you really want to do. Okay? Because the success will come when you do massive action. All right? So massive action is what really gets you from your potential down to the results. That's the thing that's holding you back. And so go back to your identity document here. That's why I'm asking you, in what areas is your back against the wall? In what areas are you challenged? That is, you find people at these networking events and you feel that they challenge you. And finally, what are my limitations? Maybe you need help. Maybe you need to hire someone to help you do something. Okay, you can hire, you can outsource. You don't have to be a business. You can pay your own money to outsource something. And finally, I'm willing to take massive action in order to achieve what I want to achieve. So ladies and gentlemen, look, someone said to me in a seminar once, "Oh, Neil, you're just an academic. How can you say take massive action? What have you done in terms of massive action?" Well, you know, maybe doing a PhD, you know, part-time in 4 years, you know, partly. Okay, that's one. But another one is just recently to show you that I haven't stopped, I haven't finished yet. In 2010, I probably didn't get tenure because of this, but that's fine, all right? I decided after 15 years of doing research, a researcher, isn't it good to be a professor? No, it's better to be a professor that can speak to students, who can speak to the research, publish, and speak to industry. And I was sick and tired of just speaking to the first two and not to the third two. I really felt that I wasn't engaging industry. I didn't have the connections. I didn't really know enough. And so I said, no more of these 80-person surveys or 150 company surveys or 200 company surveys. I'm going to do the biggest in the world. And I decided to do 1,000 plus interviews. It took me 2.5 years. And you know what happened? Well, I get halfway through it, right? Hey, Neil, you got to do 1,000 interviews? You don't need to do 1,000 interviews. You don't need to do 1,000 interviews to get published. I know. I didn't do it for that. I did it to give a signal to industry that I'm serious about understanding how they work and how I can help them be better. You see that? But all my academic peers didn't understand that, because I wanted to have a foot in both camps. And that comes at a price. But then I feel better today because of that. I feel as I've created my own road in that way. So, unbelievable. 1,000, I just gave a talk to 200 executives, not last Sunday, Sunday before in Hong Kong. 200 executives that 3 years earlier wouldn't even turn up to watch, to see what I have to say. 200 executives turned up to listen to me for an hour at a trade expo about how Apple manages its suppliers in China. And they come to listen, to hear stuff, not what is in the newspaper, not what was in the internet, but through my own travels and field work I did in China. In other words, stuff that no one else knows. I got so much secret sauce that I can share. 2 days later, I gave one of the largest workshops for HKICPA. We had 120 people turn up for a 3-hour session about doing business in China. 3 years earlier, no way would people turn up to hear me talk on doing business in China. Okay? So it's about recreating yourself. If you've got a dream, you've got to recreate sometimes. And then one day when your time's up, your time's up. Okay? But don't stop. Don't stop. If you love your dream, you'll never be in retirement. I guess personally, deep down, my dream is just to keep learning and to keep trying to be of value to other people. So that's where I want to fear. That's where I want to end up. But here's the big question, you know, and I'll leave this with you as we finish tonight. And that is another video you can watch at home. No, you don't have to come out the front. Okay, sorry. But this video is an amazing video because let me show you it very quickly. And I think it's working. This is 1, 2, 3. Sodemo del Rey. I'm scared of heights. There's too much. Yeah. It'll come back to me. Have a look at this one. This is another interesting one, but it's not. Yeah, here we go. You're probably thinking, why have I got an obsession with heights? Well, it's not really an obsession. It's just skip ad. We don't want ads in mine. We want the real stuff. And this is another example. And when you watch this, you think, wow, we've got fears again. And I watch this myself because I just remind myself that, okay, I'm not taking risks, so why do I have a fear? Why do you fear? When you look at this, why do you get sweaty palms? Okay? It's not you, you're not there, but why does that happen? Just want to remind you tonight, when you go home, there's three things: your thoughts, emotions, and what was the third one? Physical. Physical. You align them, you can bend time. So let me just stop there and thank you for coming tonight. Thank you. Okay, thank you. I didn't even talk about the 2 books I wrote too. Look at that. English Dropout, writing books. I can't believe it. Okay, whose phone was this? Sorry about that. Sorry I had to take it off you at the beginning. Okay. A bit of hair drying will dry it out. It'll be okay, all right? It's all right. Okay. Okay. And last but not least, here is the code for Instagram. Who's got an iPhone? Who wants the code? There you go. You know Instagram? Yeah. This is Instagram. So you can actually grab photos from Instagram. Put your hand up, that's a good idea. Oh wow, the hands are going up. Okay, that's great. Okay, this is directly from the owner of the maker of that. There you go. All right, some freebie takeaway. The university wants to have, you have to give, please give feedback to Career Services about tonight, okay? Do they yank me from the stage, or do you think it's worth having me back next year? For next year. So that's for you. Please give feedback on any improvement. Have you got a... They're supposed to come in with some feedback. Have you got any feedback?
Usually they give them.
They do, don't they? It should be outside. Hi. Hi. Where's, we don't have feedback. Oh.